Hello, welcome to this update. So we mentioned that the US severe weather and the tropics in this video. So if you want to skip to the severe weather section, feel free. So let's see the tropics first because it's booming with activities. So first things first, there's tropical depression Alberto. So it's now inside Mexico and it's weakening because of all the mountains there. So here are the key messages. Still some storm surge advisories there because of the strong winds, and especially heavy rainfall associated with tropical depression Alberto will begin to diminish in southern Texas. However, heavy rain will continue to impact northeastern Mexico, and light threatening mudslides and flash flooding are likely near higher terrain of the Mexican states of Coahuila, Nuevo León, and Tapahuatas, including the cities of Monterrey and Ciudad Victoria. So please be careful there. The swells too in the moderate coastal flooding. So please be careful. Here are the tropical storm force winds probabilities, but this is already a tropical depression, so don't mind this much. Let's see. Warnings and static. There are no warnings anymore because it has gone inland. And let's see now here the other disturbances here. So there's this one here. It was at a 20% chance yesterday, but it's now at 5%. So because the Euro model gained some confidence on that and some other stuff happened. So let's see, a small airflow pressure located about 150 miles of the northernmost Bahamas continue to produce disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity, while environmental conditions are only marginally conducive due to dry air. Further development of this system could lead to the development of a tropical depression while the low moves west-northwest about 10 to 15 miles per hour and approaches the northeastern coast of Florida and Georgia early on Friday. So 5% chance here. So, and there's this other area here too. This has a broad area of low pressures forecast to form over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico and in northern Central America, but on Friday, environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of this system as it moves through the Bay of Campeche on Saturday, and a tropical depression could form over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico this weekend. So there's 20% in the next 48 hours and 50% in the next 7 days. So that's a growing threat for those areas, especially because of the heavy rainfall, because those areas are already saturated and everything from all the heavy rain. So let's see here, the Euro for the next 12 hours, it has most for Mexico there, in those higher terrain areas too. So please be careful. Yes, even some more for southern central Mexico there, some in the Yucatan, a lot in El Salvador and Guatemala, some in Nicaragua, and in the next 24 hours, it has more for Nicaragua, northwestern Nicaragua, southern Honduras, El Salvador, and southern Guatemala there, and some more for northern Belize and the Yucatan. And here, no big changes, just a little bit more in northern Mexico. The next 3 days, it shows even some more there, more in other parts of Mexico, like the south central areas here. And then it shows a lot for northern Belize in the next 3 days, and for the Yucatan too. And take a look at El Salvador here, almost to 300 millimeters in some area, many 244, 277, but that's a lot of rain for southern Honduras too, and in Guatemala there. So let's see, next 5 days, it has even more there for those areas, 200, 271, yeah, a lot. That's a lot of rain, so please be careful. Some more for the Yucatan. And now the GFS is a little bit different. It has most offshore there, but it has a lot for southern Honduras and parts of El Salvador and Nicaragua. more for northern Belize and the Yucatan, and Mexico there. So the icon here for the next 5 days, it has a lot, especially for the coast of El Salvador, Guatemala, parts of northwestern Nicaragua, and other areas of Nicaragua too, and Honduras there, and the Yucatan, some more too, and Texas there. So let's see, for for northern South America too, the euro has a lot for Colombia, parts of Venezuela, northern Brazil, and Guyana, parts of Suriname and northeastern Brazil there. And for the rest of the Caribbean, has in the next 5 days some for the Dominican Republic and Haiti, some more in Cuba here. And let's quickly see the satellite, because we have an upper low here bringing some showers and storms, affecting parts of the Keys and some areas there. And let's see here the rain again, some more in the next 5 days in Turks and Caicos, southern Bahamas and northern Bahamas, but in Puerto Rico more too, and in the Lesser Antilles here. So let's compare it to next 3 days and now next 5 days. So more closer to that 5-day mark. So let's see, more for Trinidad and Tobago too. Next 24 hours, 3 days, 5 days. So let's see here some more stuff. So the euro here, it has, this is till June 19th. Let's see here, June 20th, we had Alberto make landfall there, and then the more heavy rains in Central America, and then by Saturday, this low pressure comes from Central America and forms in the Bay of Campeche there, and tries to go into Mexico there, but not as strong as Alberto, I think, but you probably form something there. So for the rest here, it shows some isolated showers there in the Lesser Antilles, some thunderstorms in South America, more stuff, but no more development there. And let's see here for this area, I think it's this area there, shows more moisture associated with it going to Florida and Georgia, but no big cyclone or anything. So let's see the GFS. It also has that area there now, and goes with a lot of moisture there. Not a lot, but a little bit of moisture into Florida and Georgia, and maybe South Carolina. So, and here, so Alberto made landfall, and this is by Saturday, June 23rd. The GFS picks up this other area of heavy rain there in Mexico and Central America, and forms this low pressure and goes into Mexico there by Monday and Tuesday. So for down here, some more heavy rains there in Central America, continuing, and by June 28th, the GFS picking up another area of moisture there, coming up the Yucatan and trying to form something there by Mexico again. So nothing else big, but the Canadian had some interesting past runs, but I don't know if it's still showing it. So let's see, here has the heavy rain in Central America, the system trying to form by Saturday and Sunday, going kind of into Mexico there. But then later it shows more moisture down here in Central America and in Mexico there. But let's see a past run, because I want to show you something. Here, so 12Z from yesterday, the Canadian had kind of this system forming in the southern Caribbean and heat striking like Central America, and then forming like a cyclone there and going through the Yucatan by June 29th. So this is still uncertain, only one run showed that, but we gotta keep watching it. So let's see here the ensemble, wait, here. So let's see here, this is from the Euro. We start getting those low pressures in the Bay of Campeche Wait, this is old, I think. So that's Alberto now. That's Alberto that made landfall. And then as we continue here, by Saturday we start getting the signals of low pressure there in the Bay of Campeche, maybe going to Mexico. And then it also picks up maybe a low pressure or two there in some more areas later. And even the Euro's picking up some more low pressures down there in the Southern Caribbean by the end of June. So we gotta keep watching that. Let's see the GFS ensembles. So there's all the maybe low pressures in the Pacific and heavy rain in Central America, and then those low pressures in the Bay of Campeche by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then he picks up some more low pressures maybe in the Southern Caribbean too, in parts of the Central Caribbean, and takes them north. Then it shows like more general low pressures in many areas, and maybe something in the NVR there. So we are starting to get some signs that there'll be some favorable environment there by the end of this month. So take this as a grain of salt. There's nothing certain yet. It's just a low pressure or two, but there's nothing certain yet. But we are starting to get some signs. So the Canadian now, so we can see those low pressures in Central America going to the Bay of Campeche on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Then we get some general low pressures there, like wide, very wide, big areas of potential low pressure, and then they kind of stick around there, go there, and then in the Caribbean, we might get some more low pressures, and even the Canadian is trying to spawn up something from the NVR. So we gotta keep watching it. Let's see here now some wind gusts and stuff. So let's see. Some stronger winds this week still in Central Caribbean there, into parts of the Yucatan. A little bit gusty in other areas there by this weekend, and some other areas, especially by Monday. There's some gustier winds possible by Monday in the Eastern Caribbean. So let's see here in the Gulf of Mexico, because of Alberto, of course, and some more gusty winds there possible. So especially there in the Gulf and everything, because there's Alberto and there's another system there of winds that might be bringing some big waves there to areas of the Gulf. So be aware of minor coastal flooding or big waves too. So let's see the severe weather now here. So it's a slight risk for today in parts of Wyoming, Nebraska, and South Dakota, and even northeastern Colorado, and this other slight risk from Pennsylvania to Maine, and this marginal from Michigan to Canada, and this marginal from Arizona to Iowa, and this marginal in Montana. So they update this all the time, so they might have a new update by this afternoon, but I'll show you what we got now. So there's 2% tornado threat in those areas of Wyoming, Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and South Dakota. Wind is 5% in the marginal, 15% there in that light, and 15% there in the northeast, and a 5%. Hail is just 5% in the northeast, 15% there in the plains, and this hatched area for 2-inch in diameter or greater, 10% chance of big hail. So, and there's this 5% in the marginal and that 5% in Montana. So let's see. Storms may produce scare damaging wind gusts over parts of the northeast and New England, mainly this afternoon. Scare severe storms are also expected over parts of the north central and high plains. So stay safe today. Let's just see the HUR here. We have some showers and storms there in parts of the Dakotas. That we might get some showers popping there by the early afternoon, and some storms there by later this afternoon in Wyoming and Nebraska there, going into South Dakota, and also a strong some storms there scattered in parts of the Rockies, and a strong or isolated severe storm possible in those areas there of the southwest. So this complex of storms continues in South Dakota and Nebraska there until the end of this run. So let's see here for the northeast. So wait. So we start getting some storms by this afternoon in parts of Michigan, maybe of Ontario, New York, Vermont, and other areas. And then it shows this big area of storms there with damaging winds. And then, yeah, the HERS is only showing this. So there's nothing big for for Canada today, only southern Ontario maybe, but we might get some bigger stuff this weekend. This is the GFS. It has this low pressure there forming by Saturday in parts of the northern US, maybe some severe weather, and there in Canada too some. And then by Sunday it takes the storm into Canada, and maybe some potent severe weather or storms there by Sunday, maybe affecting the northeast too by Sunday and Monday. So we gotta keep watching that. And then some more stuff later, and another system by June 28th in Western Canada there. Maybe some snow and some storms there too. So let's see here. The rest of the outlooks here from the Storm Prediction Center. So for day 2, which is Friday, there's a slight twist from Wyoming to Minnesota, and this marginal from Arizona to Wisconsin, and this marginal from Ohio to Massachusetts. So let's see, tornado threat is, it's 2% there in the plains, from Wyoming to Minnesota tomorrow. Wind is 15% and 5% there in the northeast. Hail is 15% and 5% in the plains. So let's see. Scattered strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible from the northern high plains to the upper Mississippi Valley on Friday. A few strong storms over parts of the northeast. A few severe gusts are also possible over parts of the eastern Great Basin. So be aware for tomorrow. For day 3, there's already a slight risk, as I showed you for Saturday with that system forming. So there's a slight risk in parts of Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin there, and even the UP of Michigan, and this marginal there from Kansas into Canada. So probabilistic 15%, and severe storms will be possible from the upper Mississippi Valley towards the upper Michigan on Saturday. Damaging winds, large hail, and isolated tornado potential may develop. So be aware there. Day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, nothing. So let's see. Any fire? No, it's not critical there. So let's see here some outlooks. Here, a weather prediction center for today, for tomorrow and after tomorrow. So precipitation for today, still in Texas, the northeast and the plains. Day 2, mainly the northern plains and some other areas. Day 3, in parts of Canada and the northern plains, maybe Texas. Day 4, mainly in Canada there, northeast and some areas. Day 5, northeast, Florida, some other areas. Day 6, some areas. Day 7, some areas. So days 1 through 7, maybe in Texas, parts of the Great Basin, more from the plains into Canada there, and the northeast. So excessive rain is apparently a moderate today, parts of South Dakota and Minnesota, and those areas, and a slight and a marginal there too. So, and there's this other slight in parts of Colorado and New Mexico, and this slight in New Mexico and Texas, and this marginal there from Colorado into Texas, also marginal in the northeast. So day 2 is also a moderate in Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. This light there in the Rockies in the desert, and this marginal in the northeast and Texas, and this big marginal from Montana to Michigan. So let's see. Day 3 is a slight there from Minnesota to Michigan and Canada, and this marginal from North Dakota to Maine. So let's see. Day 4, just a marginal South Texas, and a marginal from Virginia to Canada, and this slide there in the northeast affecting Canada too. So day 5, that was day 4. So day 5, there's just this marginal there, the Midwest. So winter, nothing. And let's see if this works. No. So let's see here. Still some heat risk there for Thursday, for Friday. Some extreme heat risk still, part of the Ohio Valley and Midwest. For Saturday, still some extreme heat risk and some major heat risk and extreme for part of the central and southeast there. So be aware of this heat wave too. And let's see here if Canada has something for today, but I think it's fine. Let's see, maybe some heat warnings and stuff like that. So there are plenty of warnings here. Some warnings there for heat, yeah, and for air quality. And down here, more heat warnings, severe thunderstorm watch, heat warning too. So the HER showed some storms firing around southern Ontario, but apparently there's this severe thunderstorm watch there for this afternoon. Conditions for both the development of strong to severe thunderstorms, producing strong gusts, large hail, and heavy rain. So be aware there. There are these heat warnings for Atlantic Canada too. So for the US, let's see. Some heat advisories, excessive heat warnings there too. Some heat warnings, heat advisories, some flood watches in those areas, flash flood warnings, and some wind advisories too in some areas, and air quality maybe, or dense fog in some areas there. So I think it's air quality. So let's see. This is it, I think. Some wind gusts there, stronger in parts of the southwest there in some areas. In Canada, some stronger gusts too. And stay safe.